All right, Bulls and Bears. Hey, it is Monday, March 7th, 2022. Even with the possibility of World War III, the stock markets are down only between 2 and 3%. That's very interesting. Now, it's not me saying that World War III is possibly breaking out. Some very well-known people, investors also, are saying that this could be the possibility or the beginning of World War III. Bill Ackman says Russia's attack on Ukraine means World War III has likely already started. Right now, billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman says that the U.S.'s failure to intervene overseas in previous conflicts during the invasion of Georgia and Crimea has given the president of Russia, Putin, more emboldenment. So what he's saying is the U.S. sounds like he's saying the U.S. should intervene. Will we see U.S. troops on the ground over there? Who knows? But with all that up in the air, with all those questions out there, the uncertainty, as investors call it, it's interesting. Stock market's only down 2 to 3%. Now, if you look at the market now since the peak, we're down about 10%, over 10% now. If you look at the S&P 500. Also, very interesting, the plunge protection team. We've seen it pop markets back up intraday, and at the end of the day, today not so much. Or maybe it would have been twice as bad, 3 times as bad, 4 times as bad. Who knows without the plunge protection team. What do you think down in the comments? Will the plunge protection team bring these markets back just like we saw in 2020 with the emergence of the health crisis? We saw about a 40% drop in the Dow Jones, other indexes even more. And we saw it bounce right back in just a few months and back onto all-time highs. Please let me know down in the comments what you think is going to happen with these markets. Or is this finally the talk of war, World War III, and what's happening so far with this invasion? Is this the pin that finally burst the bubble? Will the plunge team just take a hands-off approach and allow markets to collapse? And also, many people out there are saying that this could be the force or the excuse to bring in a whole new system. We're talking about a completely digital currency, completely controlled by the issuers of this currency, what we call the US dollar. I could think of many other names I'd like to call it besides the US dollar. All right, there's also been talks and threats of attacks against the USA in cyberspace. So banking system going down, exchanges going offline. What if someone loses access to their bank account? You know that's going to bring on chaos in just a few days if you see a majority of the population not having access to their funds and their lifeline in many cases. Now, it's not meant to be all fear and doom and gloom here. There's actually some very good news. Batman is making tons of money, $130 million opening at the box office. So Batman's making money. There's some good news for you. I hope you're making money. People are buying the dips in these markets. Now, it's interesting. A lot of the brokerages, stockbrokers, including Robinhood, has suspended coverage in many Russian stocks and Russian ETFs. There was a lot of people that were going to go buy the dip on these, because overall the stock market over there is down over 90%, with many individual stocks and ETFs down nearly that amount as well. But not much of a buying opportunity, or if it is a buying opportunity, good luck buying it if your brokerage has suspended trading on those. Now, you can bet the big money investors that know what's going to happen, they're still able to go in and buy these stocks at a big discount. But you or I are likely not able. If you know a brokerage that allows you to still buy those stocks, please let me know. But I did check Robinhood earlier. I also checked Webull, and I didn't see any of the ones that I was looking for, but I didn't look through all the stocks. And we've seen that happen a lot of times when stocks see a big increase or a big sell-off or drop. We see the brokerages suspend trading in those stocks. And it makes it very difficult for the people to get out, the people that want to sell. And for the people that are looking to buy at a lower price, buy the dip, of course, not possible if your broker's not offering the trade. Now, whether you believe this is the beginning of World War III or not, one thing that we can all agree on is it is affecting us here with our cost of living. We saw oil skyrocket to $130 a barrel before settling back down today, right around $120 per barrel. But that brings the average now here in Southern California up to over $5 per gallon. And we look at the national average now is well over $4 a gallon. Now let's go ahead and drop San Diego in here with the red line. And you'll see that popping up in just a moment here. San Diego, where are you? We're at about $5.37 a gallon. Now you can look around and still find it for under $5. But these people that depend on their vehicle for work, not just commuting, but think about all the delivery drivers, the Ubers, the Lyfts, the Uber Eats, all the food delivery people. They're going to really feel the pinch on this. And we already know that people are a lot of times at the end of the rope financially and skating on the edge financially when you look at all the people living paycheck to paycheck. So this further confirms what we think is going to happen here. Second half of 2022 is going to be very, very brutal. We see rents continuing to skyrocket. Home prices, the latest home prices continuing to skyrocket. People said prices were going to start coming down in January. When I say people, I'm talking about some of my fellow YouTube economists. And I love a lot of the YouTube economists. I'm in touch with a lot of them. Some of them wanted me on their show, and I was going to have some of them on my show back when I thought I was going to do interviews, which I decided not to do. But the people that had predicted that, you've got to look at the bigger picture. You've got to look at the lending system. You've got to look at all the low interest rates, mortgage rates, in addition to everything else. Now, mortgage rates are not rising as many had predicted. And just as we predicted here, the Fed has not shed assets from their balance sheet as they promised. Let's take a look at that here next. And you're looking at a chart right here, total assets on the Fed balance sheet. You look at this line right here, and it's updated as of March 2nd. So within a week, does that look like a shedding of assets from the balance sheet? Or does that look like a continued upward trend to you? All right, yet another example of the Fed not doing what they say they were going to do. And guess what? We predicted it right here. We told you that they would just talk and that they were not going to follow through. We'll see what happens in about a week or so. Yeah, middle of the month here for the Fed funds rate decision. Wouldn't surprise me if they raised it 0.25%, but I doubt they're going to do the 0.5% rate hike that many had came to the conclusion that they were going to do. That was before this whole situation over in Eastern Europe. So more of the same here. No sign of any bubble popping here. More propping up of the markets as far as we can tell. With everything happening, it should have been a bigger sell-off in the markets. We see home prices went up again. Let's take a look at the latest numbers here. Some recent numbers here for the month of February. U.S. home price, $400,000. Now that is the another all-time high. And these are asking prices, right? So the final number is a little bit off from that. Online places like Redfin, they're saying it's closer to $364,000. No matter which way you slice it, it's new all-time highs. No sign of any bubble popping. And we told you this was going to happen. There's too much of a severe supply crunch. Too many people, not enough homes. The rising energy costs are continuing to punish businesses, including home builders, and it's causing the call for higher and higher wages. Folks, bottom line, I think we're headed into Great Depression 2.0. A few years ago when I started talking like that, people thought it was nonsense, it was crazy, it was fear-mongering, it was doom and gloom. Now more people are realizing, hey, this is it's getting out of control. All of this debt, now add war on top of that. The sanctions against Russia are going to bring on higher costs. We're talking about eliminating all oil purchases now from Russia. Also other imports on top of these sanctions. And if it's not cyber attacks, it's just rising prices everywhere you look. So that's going to be the report for today. Keep bracing, folks. Buckle up because it's going to get worse as far as I can see. Again, please let me know down in the comments. Until then, keep stacking. Be well, stay safe. Bye for now.